There are a few ways to do number 37. One of them is just to use your calculator and kind of brute force work backwards and figure out the original amount. Now, that's not always going to work. In fact, it really only works in this case because they're doubling the investment. If they had done anything else, a different kind of percentage, it wouldn't quite work. And so I'm going to show you the way that I would teach my students because I think it's going to be a solution that works in other versions of this question where the percentages aren't quite as nice. So what I teach my students about percentages is that they need to be open to a new formula. And conveniently enough, that formula is the open formula. The original times the percentage equals the new. Open, kind of looks like the word open. So I'm going to make one little change to this. So because we're talking about an increase, right, it's doubling, it's going to be 1 plus p. And because it's an equation, there's a time that passes, right, a certain number of years. And so this is like a modified version of the open formula that is useful for exponential equations, okay? Again, this is something I keep in my study guides. If you have other ways that you've learned this equation, that is totally fine. There are plenty of other versions of this equation. The reason I have my own is that I know that students who are struggling on this never learned the way to do it in school. And it didn't stick that time, so they need a new formula and something new to help them remember it. And this is my attempt at helping them do that. So hopefully it works for you as well if you're stuck. So all of these pieces need to have, hopefully some numbers. So the initial investment is X dollars. So the original amount, we don't know. So I'm going to put X in for my O, my original amount. The percentage is a little weird. So when they say that it doubles, we're going to basically end up with a 2 in that parentheses part. Because we're taking 100% of the investment and adding 100%. That's what doubling is. And when we use the percentage part, the P, we're writing all those percentages as decimals, right? So 100 as a decimal, 100% as a decimal is just 1.00. So you have to be comfortable with that, the ability to move from a percentage to a decimal. But if we do, then this makes sense. We have 100%, 1, and we're adding 100%, another 1, so we're going to have a 2 in that parentheses. And they do say that it's from 2001 to 2005, so that's 4 years. So in fact, I can erase my t, my time. We know that. It's 4. And the n, the new amount, we also know that. They tell us it's $480. So now we have a good thing in algebra is an equation with only one variable. So that means we can solve for that variable. So let's simplify it. Simplify it here. We're going to have 2 to the 4th equals 480. We should find 2 to the 4th. Remember, we have a calculator. But 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. And then we just divide by 16. And x is going to be 30. So that's the initial investment. Again, there are lots of ways to do it. If you did it a different way and got the right answer, great, good for you. That's totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. But we will see other questions on other practice tests where I'm going to bring in this formula because it is very useful for a wider variety of situations. And I think it makes things just a little neater. Knowing the SAT, maybe not in real life and math, but I'm an SAT tutor first and foremost. And if a formula works for the SAT, it's good by me.